Have you ever wondered why he can't stop thinking about her? Why her name stays in his silence? Why her smile appears in his dreams? Why her presence stays with him long after she's gone? It's not about how she looks or what she wore or even how she spoke. It's something deeper, something he didn't fully understand until she was no longer there. What makes a woman emotionally unforgettable to a man isn't just what she gives, but what she awakens inside him. And once that feeling disappears, no matter how hard he tries, he will never find it again in anyone else. A man never forgets the woman who made him feel something no other person could reach. That's the truth. It's not about chasing or trying to be perfect. It's about the emotional mark you leave behind when he least expects it. A man might be surrounded by noise, by beauty, by choices, but when the lights go out and he is alone with his thoughts, it's the woman who touched his soul who plays again and again in his mind. Imagine this: a smell he catches in a crowd that immediately reminds him of her, a song on the radio that tightens his chest because it brings back memories, a certain quiet that used to be filled with her voice. That's what emotional impact looks like. It's not something he can touch, it's something that touches him deeply. The kind of woman who understands his heart, who challenges his ways, who makes him feel truly seen without needing to be loud. That's the woman he never forgets. But dear lady, here's what many forget. Being unforgettable to a man doesn't mean breaking yourself for him. It doesn't mean staying silent when your heart hurts or bending yourself just to be liked. The most unforgettable women are the ones who know how to love deeply, but also know when to walk away with grace because they know their worth. They know that their energy, their softness, their peace is a gift, not something just given. And if he was too blind to honor that, then that memory becomes his burden to carry, not hers. So now, beautiful woman, hear this. You were not made to be background noise in his life. You were made to be the echo that stays in the back of his mind long after the world forgets. And once you rise, not in bitterness, but in brilliance, that's when your story changes. You become more than a memory. You become the one no other woman can replace. Beautiful soul, your value is not measured by his choice. Your power begins the moment you choose yourself. And from that moment on, you don't chase, you rule. If this message touched something deep inside you, if it reminded you of the power, the beauty, and the worth you hold, even when it was overlooked, then honor that feeling, queen. Like this video and subscribe to the channel, because we work hard every day to create content that speaks to your heart, lifts your spirit, and reminds you of the woman you are always meant to be. You deserve to hear the truth. You deserve to rise. We are here to walk that path with you. She spoke to the part of him he didn't know needed healing. Have you ever seen a man hold himself together so well yet quietly fall apart the moment she walks away? Not because she was loud or forced herself into his world, but because she touched a place inside him he didn't even realize was broken. A part so deep he had forgotten it existed, until she came and spoke to it like it belonged to her. It's the kind of woman a man never forgets. She didn't try to fix him or control him. She just made him feel seen in a world where he'd learned to hide behind masks just to survive. And now that she's gone, nothing feels the same. His days are quieter, his breath smaller, and his heart feels the loss of a connection he can't name but can't stop wanting. Some voices don't just speak, they heal. That was her. She became the calm in his chaos. While others demanded attention, she gave understanding. While others tried to impress, she simply listened. And by doing that, she broke down walls even time couldn't break. That's what made her unforgettable. Not how she looked, not how she dressed, but the way she made him feel safe in a world that taught him to always be guarded. Imagine a locked room, closed for years, dusty, untouched, silent. Then one day, someone opens a window and lets light pour in. That light doesn't force anything. It just shows what was already there. That's what she did for him. She brought light without demanding change. She didn't chase his darkness, she honored it. And that's why, no matter who comes next in his life, none of them will ever stand where she stood, because she reached places no one else even tried to touch. But lovely woman, this isn't about him anymore. It's about you. You were not made to be temporary. You were made to be transformative. The kind of woman who doesn't beg to be chosen, she simply is the choice. You are not broken. You are the healing he never saw coming. You are the softness he didn't know he needed, and the silence he'll never forget. So now, beautiful queen, claim this truth. I spoke to his soul, not his ego. Write this in the comments and tell the world your love was never ordinary. It was divine. If this message reminded you of your power, your light, your worth, like this video and subscribe to the channel. We work daily to create content that speaks to your spirit and reminds you that you are not just unforgettable, you are untouchable. She didn't compete for his attention, she made him fight for her energy. Have you ever noticed how he starts paying attention the moment you stop trying? The second you stop over-giving, over-explaining, over-compensating, he begins to see you differently. That's because the woman who refuses to compete for his attention becomes the woman he can't forget. While others fight for a seat at his table, she built her own. And when he realized her presence wasn't guaranteed, that's when she became unforgettable. Power isn't in how loud you shout, but in how clearly your absence is felt. That's what made her different. She didn't scream to have space in his world. She made him earn space in hers. He thought she'd wait, that she'd bend, that she'd chase, but she didn't play the game. And that's why he can't stop replaying her silence. Picture a fire that doesn't burn wildly for just anyone. It waits for the right match. That was her. Her energy was not for sale. Her time was not a bargain. She was not available for a man who couldn't see her worth without a fight. While he chose ease, she embodied worth. While he got used to being the chosen one, she became the one who chose herself. At first, he didn't notice. He thought she was like all the others. Quick to respond, easy to impress. But the moment she stepped back, reclaimed her peace, the energy shifted. The silence began to speak. And what it said was louder than any love letter. You are no longer invited into a space you failed to respect. He realized too late that her energy was never something he could just come back to. It was sacred, and once she stopped giving it, he knew he had lost something irreplaceable. Dear lady, this is where it begins. You are not hard to love. You were just not made for a man who expects love without effort. You were never meant to beg for attention. You were meant to command it. And when he finally sees you standing in your power, not needing him to validate it, that's when your memory becomes his burden, a quiet ache behind every moment he shares with someone who will never be you. So now, lovely woman, live as the queen you are. Don't lower your crown to be noticed. Don't shrink to be chosen. Let him rise if he wants to meet you where you stand. Say this in the comments, queens, I don't compete, I attract. I protect my energy. Make that your truth. We work hard to create these life-changing lessons for women like you because your reign begins the moment you stop chasing. Her emotional depth wasn't a pool. It was an ocean he could never finish exploring. Have you ever seen a man get lost in a memory he never talks about? His eyes go distant, his breath slows, and for a few quiet seconds, It's like he's inside a feeling he can't explain. That memory, that's her. It's not because she was loud or tried harder than others. It's because she had depth, real emotional depth, not the kind you show on the surface, but the kind that pulls him in without trying, the kind he thought he could walk away from, but now can't stop reliving. She didn't need attention to be unforgettable. She didn't chase. She didn't overshare. She just felt like something he'd never met before. And now, he's learning the hard way. Her emotional depth wasn't a pool he could dip into when it was easy. It was an ocean, endless, mysterious, soul-stirring, and he barely scratched the surface. A shallow heart fears depth, but a real man regrets leaving it. That's his reality now, because she gave him more than words. She gave understanding without judgment. She read between his silences and answered the questions he never asked. She could sit quietly with him and still feel what he couldn't say. Imagine a diver in the middle of the sea. At first he swims near the surface, drawn to the light, but as he dives deeper, everything changes. The silence grows louder, colors become richer, pressure increases. It's overwhelming, but beautiful. Now imagine walking away before reaching the heart of that ocean. That's what he did. He left while there was still so much of her to discover. Now that he's back in shallow water, the emptiness feels louder than ever. Lovely woman, you were not made for shallow men. Your presence is not for those who panic when they see how deep you are. Your silence is poetry. Your understanding is rare. Your love is not something that can be replaced. And he knows it now, because no one else feels like you. You are not forgotten. You are hauntingly unforgettable. And queens, hear this truth. You do not chase, you echo. You are not the woman he moves on from. You are the one his soul quietly returns to, again and again, even when he pretends to forget. Write this in the comments and claim it. My depth cannot be replaced. Let the world know you are not here to shrink for a man who feared your ocean. You are here to rule. We work day and night to bring you truth, healing, and the strength you already carry deep inside. You were never meant to be small, Queen. You were meant to be unforgettable. The power to calm his storm without losing her own peace. Have you ever seen a man completely break down in front of a woman? Not because she said something, but because her presence made him feel safe enough to stop pretending? That is the kind of impact that stays forever. She didn't raise her voice or demand that he change. She simply held on to her own peace so strongly that it made him want to find his. That's the kind of woman a man never forgets. Not because she fixed his chaos, but because she never let his chaos take over hers. A man may meet many women who react to his storms, who absorb his moods, who try to match his energy, but the one he remembers forever is the one who stayed calm while everything around him was shaking. She didn't try to rescue him, she became the lighthouse. She didn't try to control him, she only mastered herself. And that calm, that stillness, that's what he craves long after she's gone. He who controls others may be strong, but he who masters himself is even stronger. That's not just a saying, that's real. He realizes too late she wasn't trying to control him, she was controlling herself. In a world where everyone shouts to be heard, her silence echoed the loudest. Think about the ocean, wild, deep, unpredictable. Now think about the moon, quiet, steady, calm, yet it moves the tides. That's her. She didn't chase, didn't beg, didn't lower herself, but her emotional balance pulled him in without even trying. Now he's out there, searching for that same calm in other women, only to find storms where he once had peace. At the time, he may have thought she was too quiet, too calm, too unbothered, but now that's what haunts him. her ability to love deeply without losing herself, to listen without needing to argue, to walk away without slamming the door. That's not weakness, that's power. And now, living with the noise of his own choices, he misses the silence she carried like royalty. So, beautiful lady, if you ever felt like you were too calm, too soft, too peaceful for the storm he brought, understand this. You were never too little, you were just too whole. And he wasn't ready for that kind of emotional maturity. You weren't cold, you were composed. You weren't passive, you were powerful. And now that your peace is gone, it's the one thing he can't seem to find again. Your silence wasn't empty, it was sacred. It was the kind of silence that makes a man realize he lost something rare, and now he will carry that stillness like a heavy weight, because no one else makes his chaos feel safe anymore. So rise, dear woman. You don't need to be louder. You don't need to chase closure. Your peace is the reminder. Your stillness is the legacy. Let him live with the storm. You've already built the sky above it. Write this in the comments and claim it. My peace is unforgettable, because that's the truth. Queens, you didn't just love him. You showed him what love feels like when it's calm. And that kind of love is never forgotten. If this message touched something deep inside like this video, and subscribe to the channel. We work hard every day to create content that helps you heal, rise and reign. Because you were never just a woman. You were the calm he lost forever. He made him see himself through her eyes and then took that mirror away. Have you ever met a man who didn't know his own strength until you looked to him that way? Until you believed in him even when he didn't believe in himself? That's the kind of impact he never forgets. You didn't just show up and love him. You reflected back a version of him that even he struggled to see. You didn't flatter him. You truly saw him. You looked past the surface and into the parts of him that had never been touched with kindness. And that reflection, that mirror you held up for him, changed everything. But here's where the story flips. When a woman who gave that kind of vision takes it away, when she walks away in silence and no longer gives that reflection, he doesn't just miss her presence, he misses the man he used to be when she was around. And that's a hole no one else can fill. A man might forget your words, but he will never forget how he saw himself when you believed in him. You didn't just touch his heart, you touched his very identity. Now that you're gone, he's standing in front of a broken mirror, trying to recreate a feeling only you ever gave him. Imagine this. A man once blind to his own light, finally standing in front of a mirror that shows every part of him with warmth and fire. That mirror didn't lie, it didn't flatter, it empowered. But one day, that mirror disappeared, not broken or cracked, just taken away. That's what makes you unforgettable. Not because you stayed, but because of who he became when you did. Lovely woman, he may not have said it, he may have taken you for granted. But now, he walks around with 100 voices, yet none sound like yours. He holds hands, but none hold him the way you did, with the purpose, with fire, with depth. Because he didn't just lose you, he lost the version of himself that only existed when you were near. And you are not standing still. You are not waiting for closure, because you are no longer the woman holding the mirror. You are the light itself. You were the blessing he didn't see, and now you are the one memory he can't replace, the one woman he measures every other against. So rise, dear queen. Let him live with the echo. Let him search for that reflection in every glance, every touch, every connection, and find it missing every time. Write this affirmation in the comments and claim it. He saw himself through me, and now he sees what he lost. We're working hard to bring you real healing and life-changing lessons because you were never just a mirror. You were the masterpiece. She walked away without looking back, and that silence screams louder than her love ever did. Have you ever seen a man haunted by silence? Not noise, not fights, not final words, but the emptiness left behind when she walks away without turning around. He thought she would plead, explain, or wait like before, but when she said nothing, that's when it finally hit him. The silence wasn't just quiet, it was powerful. It screamed, it echoed, it showed him what he lost, louder than any goodbye ever could. Because when a woman truly walks away with grace, not bitterness, not drama, he never forgets that she said nothing. And in that silence, he heard everything. That's the storm. And queens, that's what makes a woman emotionally unforgettable to a man. It's not always what she gave while with him, it's what he feels when she's gone. Her silence becomes a mirror where he sees himself. The mistakes, the games, the moments he thought didn't matter. Now they shout at him in the dark. Think of silence like a room with no walls. He tries to escape it, but it follows him. He could be lying next to her now, but all he hears is her absence, the way she spoke life into him, the way she looked at him when he doubted himself, the way she stayed steady when he was falling apart. Now all that is gone, and his regret is the only thing that talks back. You see, beautiful woman, the day you stopped explaining was the day he started understanding. The reason he can't move on is because you didn't give him closure. You gave him a question he will spend years trying to answer. That kind of goodbye is unforgettable. It's a masterpiece of strength. Now here's the truth you need to feel deep inside. Walking away in silence doesn't make you weak. It makes you powerful beyond words. A man will remember every woman who begged, but the one he'll never forget is the one who didn't. Dear Queen, rise in that silence. Don't look back. Let your absence be louder than your presence ever was, because he will feel it, not once, but every time he looks for something real and finds only noise. Now write this in the comments and claim it with power. My silence became his loudest lesson. Let the world know you don't need to chase or explain. You reign. We are working hard every day to create these life-changing lessons just for you. Keep rising, Queen. She wasn't a chapter. She was the whole story he can't rewrite. Have you noticed how he flips through memories like old pages, but always stays on one chapter he can't close? He moved on, smiled, laughed, but every piece he tries to build falls short because you weren't just a chapter, you were the whole story. Now he lives in rewrites that don't feel the same, chasing feelings that don't show up in his pages. That's what makes a woman unforgettable to a man. It's not just what she gave, it's how she became the meaning behind everything he thought he knew about love. He thought you were just a paragraph. Turns out, you were the plot. That's the painful truth he won't say out loud. He believed he could replace you, restart with someone new, rewrite the same love with a different character. But real connection, real presence doesn't copy and paste. It leaves a mark that lives deep in the soul, where the heart keeps score long after the mind moves on. Imagine a book with golden edges, a one-of-a-kind cover, and handwritten notes in the margins. That was you. Not flashy, not loud, but unforgettable. Even if she is the new cover, he still holds your story. It echoes and he saw the way you listened, challenged and understood without needing to speak. These are things he can't erase. These are details he misses when he thinks no one's watching. He might scroll, swipe, laugh, distract himself, but in quiet moments when the noise fades and the thrill wears off, he remembers you. Because you weren't a moment, you were a movement in his heart. You changed the rhythm of his world. Now nothing else fits quite the same. Beautiful woman, you were never meant to be skimmed through. You were never meant to be edited or replaced. You are the one he can't get out of his mind, because deep down, he knows your presence shaped the best parts of his journey, and he let it slip away. But here's what matters now. You're still writing your story. It didn't end with his leaving. It just began. This next chapter is about you walking without apology, living with fire, loving yourself like you are never left. You are not a footnote, you are the headline. You are not here to be remembered, you are here to reign. Queens, write this in the comments and claim it. I was never a chapter, I am the story. Let him carry the weight of your absence while you wear the crown that was always meant for you. If this message stirred something in your heart, like this video and subscribe to the channel. We work every day to bring you truth, healing, and lessons that help you rise into your power. You were never meant to be forgotten. You were born to leave a mark he can never erase.